Alexa, please answer your phone right now. Are you really messing around with me right now of all times? Where did you run off to after that? Stop screwing around, Alexa! Huh? What do you think I'm screwing around about right now? I'm really sleepy at the moment is all. I just took a wrong turn on my way home and ended up at my parents' place. And I just never expected that you guys would be here right now. That's not at all what's going on here. Just answer your phone right now, please, so we can talk this out instead of having to text. We're at the hospital right now and need to talk. So please answer the phone and let's talk before you have to come out here to see us. What? Why should I have to go all the way out to the hospital to see you right now? That's a real pain in my ass, honestly. I'm not the one who's hurt or sick at the moment. Honestly, Alexa, would you please cut it out with that childish behavior right now and get real with me? Do you have any idea what you just did at all? Before the police and the ambulance had to come out to the scene, you should have been coming over to at least see if things were okay and apologize, right? Huh? The police? In an ambulance? What did the police and that ambulance have to do with me? Why are you guys at the hospital right now? I can't believe this. So you're still drunk right now then? Well, if you were never able to realize this, you went and hit my son with your car. Does that help you recall any memories or anything? Do you think things will end well for you right after you've gone and done something like that in your inebriated state? At the very least, you should be coming out to the hospital right now and apologizing to both my son and I. Why are you getting so upset with me right now? You say that like I hit the kid on purpose, when in reality it was all just an accident, right? All I did was hit the fella a little bit too hard with my bumper. So would you please stop trying to blow everything out of proportion over there? Did you never realize that an ambulance had to literally come and take us to the hospital right after what you did? None of this is just a hoax by me, because he literally had to come to the ER unit here because of the condition you left him in. Did you not realize just how badly he was hurt before you ran off? And when you drove off, I could tell that you were drunk behind that wheel. I can't believe you'd hit a kid with your car, all because you're drunk driving. And he happens to be your nephew as well. There is no way something like this could have happened, and you're still not apologizing for any of it. How much more pissed off are you going to get with me? I'm really sleepy right now, and I think for right now, I'm going to catch some sleep. And perhaps if I'm feeling up to it tomorrow, I'll come out to the hospital and say hi. But that's only if I'm feeling up to it. Huh? So you don't even feel sorry for what you've done to him? What the hell, Alexa? What kind of frickin' nerves do you have to be talking to me like this after what you've done? This is your little brother's son you hit, and yet you don't even feel bad about it? Right now, we're all in a panic after what happened and are seriously worried about how our son is going to recover from this. All right. I get it already. How about you take a second to calm down over there? Right now, I am very sleepy and need to get to sleep. See you later. No freaking way. I can't believe the nerve you have to be doing this right now. I am not going to forgive you for what you've done to your own family today.
I'm on my way out there right now, Chaya. It shouldn't be too much longer before I arrive. How is Cam doing? What happened to him wasn't life-threatening, was it?
Okay, he's not in any life-threatening situation anymore, but he has quite a few broken bones and will have to undergo a few surgeries for them. He was screaming his eyes out, and any time I had to look over at him while he was being taken into the ambulance by the EMTs, I couldn't bear it. I feel so bad for our little boy.
Why the hell did something like this happen to him? I know we just called and all, but I forgot to ask you about that. You were back at my parents' house, right?
I was there at the house, but Cam had fallen asleep, and so I thought it was time for us to start making our way back home. And when I put him out in the car, he woke up and wanted to get out for a little bit. And as he stepped out of the car to run off his energy, he was hit by a car.
And the car that went and hit him was my sister's car, right?
That's right. That left him in a terrible state. I freaked out at the sight of it, and before I even went over to see how he was doing, I called 911.
How about my sister then? Why was she rushing back to our parents' house like that out of nowhere? And what was she doing driving through the yard to park her car at the house? She's never driven that crazily before whenever I've been around her.
Jonas, your sister was drunk when she was behind the wheel of her car.
What? Are you sure that she was really drunk when she came and hit Cam like that?
I am not going to forgive her for what she's done this time. She never even bothered to come and see either one of us to apologize and instead raced into your parents' house after she got out of her car. She fell asleep soon after that, and I haven't been able to get anything else from her since. You really think we're going to be able to forgive her after she pulled something as reckless and deadly as that? I'm not even going to forgive her for being your family, Jonas.
I know that.
What?
You really think that either one of us are going to forgive her for hitting our kid while under the influence? Just because she's my older sister? Not happening. I'll be at the hospital really soon here, so once I'm there with you, let's talk about what to do next.
Understood. I'll be waiting for you in the waiting room. When you're here, give me a call to let me know.
Sure thing.
Yeah, I slept so well last night. By the way, what all happened there last night? I can see a ton of calls came from you on my phone, so what's all of that about? Did something really happen that required you to call me 27 times like that without leaving any voicemails? Jesus. Are you saying you don't even remember a thing about what all went down last night? There is no way that can be the case, even for you, Alexa. If you really don't remember anything about all the horrible things you did last night before running away from everyone, well then allow me to refresh your memory on all of it right now, please. What the hell? Are you really that upset about me slightly hitting that little brat last night? Huh? You shouldn't be getting that upset with me over hitting your little brat like that. If he's still breathing, then what's the big problem between you and I? And it's not like any of the injuries he had last night could have been anything major, right? Are you really Cam's aunt if you're saying things like that about him right now? There has to be a limit to how insane you must be calling your own nephew a brat like that and saying that hitting him with your car was nothing. If you're really going to be calling me, of all people, insane, then that must mean you're even more crazy than I am. What the hell do you think you're saying to your older sister-in-law right now? You cut it out thinking you have the right to talk to me like that. I am so done with this. So you really don't care at all about what you did last night? Had you actually wanted to apologize to us for what you'd done, I might spend a bit more time thinking on this. But there is nothing left for me to think about now, and I will not be forgiving you for what you've done. My son is going to have to stay in this hospital for 2 months now getting treated because of you. You have to agree that there is no way for me to forgive you now after that. Why do you keep on running your mouth about that? You're not going to forgive me, huh? How friggin' hilarious can you be? Are you really saying that you can do something to me after that? Tell me, what can you actually do to me that might get me to shiver in my shoes? You were literally drunk driving, and you're going to say something as cocky as that? I'm past the point of being fed up with you now, seeing that you don't even feel bad for what you've done one bit. And if you're thinking of talking with the police about all of this, that's not going to work for you. Huh? After all you've done within the past 24 hours, you think that you can keep on running away from it? I can't believe you'd hit a kid with your car all because you were drunk driving. No matter what I've done, it's never going to end with me being criminally charged in any way. That's too bad for you guys now, isn't it? There's no way you're free from all punishment after what you've pulled. Do you really think that everything just revolves around you? Just because I hit your brat a little, don't have a whole temper tantrum. My husband's the sheriff, which means that he'll just cover all this up, and there will be no way for you to prove me guilty. And my father is the superintendent of the Metropolitan Police Department. What? Excuse me? What are you going on about? What do you mean that your father is the superintendent of the Metropolitan Police? You have to realize that you can't just call your father something as respectable as that. I'm not trying to throw a title like that around to scare you, but I am also not lying to you about who he is. I have no plans of letting you get away with what you've done to my son, and I made sure to tell my dad everything already. Huh? Are you being serious right now? Alexis, something tells me this wasn't your first time doing something like this, right? Are you sure you haven't been abusing your husband's power in order to make sure that any charges or cases against you were dropped? If that's really what you've been doing, then it won't only be you who gets in trouble if things are exposed. Your husband will be in the same place you are, right? Hold on. What are you actually going on about right now? There's no way anyone is going to find out about all of this. I don't even think anything you're talking about right now has happened before. I have no memory. I happen to be pretty forgetful when it comes to things of the past, after all. And as for your father actually being the superintendent, that was just a joke, right? You think I'm telling any jokes at a time as serious as this? Do you really think you can just get the sheriff to just drop whatever it was you've done? The fact that you even think something like that can always work for you is a major problem. I've already spoken with my dad about this, and he's already working on dealing with the both of you. Huh? You didn't actually tell him about everything, did you? So, does this really mean that your father is the superintendent of the Metro Police? Did you always have someone in your family that important? I never really talked about the kind of work my dad does. A lot of times my family likes to think it's a pain to have to talk with everyone about who my dad is and such, so we just keep our mouths shut about him. So it's nothing out of the normal for you to have not been aware of who he is either. But what I've told you about him is the truth, and now you're most definitely going to be placed under arrest. And the same thing's going to happen with your husband. Wait. Isn't this all a little bit strange? Calm down over there, Shea. What is all of this? What are you actually talking about right now? Did you really just say that my husband and I are going to be placed under arrest? What do you mean by that? Tell me when I ever did anything that requires me to be taken away by the police. What? You're asking me something like that right now? You just went and hit someone's kid last night while drunk driving, and then told me you were going to exploit your husband's rank in the police to get away with it. Saying something like that now about what you've done is so crazy that I have nothing to say about it, actually. Now, please take the time to really think about all you've done and reflect on it a bit. Wait a second. I get it now. You're really, really upset at me for what happened, but I'll apologize to you for it. That should be enough for you, right? Huh? I'm really sorry. I feel really bad now for what I've done. I never meant to cause any harm to the little fella. I was being very careless at the time. I forgot about how much I had to drink, and then I got in the car without having anyone come and stop me. I really caused a lot of trouble for your little guy. Is Cam going to be all right? But I still happen to be a part of his family. Can we just get past all of this as a family and not have to involve anyone else? Seriously? You're joking right now, correct? What do you mean by calling this a joke? I'm being completely serious right now about having felt really bad for you guys. I've learned my lesson even. Yesterday I was in such disbelief over what I'd done when I'd come home, and that kept me up all night long. I really didn't get any sleep last night thinking about him. But at the beginning of this conversation you said you slept really well, didn't you? I was just trying to act tough. In reality, I never slept at all because I was so worried. But I didn't want to have you seeing how worried I've been, so I tried to act tough. I'm really sorry, okay? You can understand that, right? Come on. Now you're trying way too hard. What the hell just happened to you there? Did you really think acting like that was going to fool me any? What? Don't tell me, Shea, that after your sister-in-law went through saying all of that to you, you're not going to forgive her still? That would be very narrow-minded of you, right? If you keep acting that narrow-minded after what happened, then you're going to start making Jonas hate you. You'll become hated by my parents as well, and then you might have to go through a really painful divorce, all right? Don't worry about that, because all of them are on my side right now. What? What do you mean they're all on your side? They're all my family, though, right? What you did, my husband ended up seeing with his own eyes. Have you still not realized just how upset he is with you now? What? Is that the reason why I have all these calls from him, too? Now things are really becoming a pain for me. I never knew that he was around when all that happened, too. But him being there has nothing to do with me. Him and my parents are all my family, which means that they have to be on my side in all of this, until the very end. So if you don't want to be hated by all my family, you need to start being a bit more forgiving, and we can start by forgiving one another right now, okay? There is nothing I need your forgiveness for right now, though. Also, even if none of your family was on my side in all of this, I still have my dad, who is furious with you and your husband right now. And neither of us will ever be letting you get off the hook. You and your husband are finished. We're going to make you both pay for all the things you've done up until this moment. Wait a second, Shea. This can't be happening, right? I just apologized to you from the bottom of my heart, right? At least let me settle out of court with you, please. If you don't give us a little slack, both my husband and I will be in trouble. By the way, your father is the superintendent, right? Then perhaps you can talk with him and have all of this swept under the rug for us? Huh? Did you just completely forget about everything we just talked about there? You must be suffering from some serious dementia or something. Don't say something like that to me. You and I are family, right? If we were really family, then you would have never avoided us after hitting my son, and you would have never stayed away from the hospital, and you would have never said that you'd get your husband to cover all of this up. These are the reasons why I no longer think of you as my family. If you can understand that now, would you please screw off? Hey, you're talking too much. Also, no matter how much you happen to hate me, Jonas is still my brother, right? So even if you try, you'll never be able to cut ties to me. As family, why don't we just try to stay close? You would never want a member of your family being tried as a criminal, right? Jonas already told me that he no longer sees you as his older sister and that he never wants to see you again. What? Jonas said that? Well, of course he did. Cam isn't just my son, but Jonas's son as well, right? Jonas is really pissed off right now as well, and he said he will never be forgiving you. We already spoke with your parents, and they both have gone and cut ties to you as well now. Huh? None of them can do that to me. We're family, right? What the hell do they all think they're doing not helping a family member out when they're in a pinch? Do you understand, Shea? I am your family. No matter how hard you try and twist things, they won't bend. Thinking that you could ever be forgiven for hitting someone else's child while driving drunk is way beyond me. Are you really that much of an insect? I'm kind of enthused by how crazy you're behaving right now. I already knew that you'd try using your husband's position to have all of this covered up, but the fact that you actually tried to say that to me without a care in the world for what you'd done is just unbelievable. Both you and your husband are literal scum. But thankfully, I have no plans of ever talking to you guys again. Just take yourself to the police station right now and have them arrest you right there. And then you can watch as your husband has the same thing happen to him. Wait, Shea. We'd really be in heaps of trouble at that point. Help us. I'll apologize to Cam himself about what happened. I've told you many times already, haven't I? Apologizing right now is too late for you. I'm not even interested in talking with you now, so could you please stop? Now enjoy having to go to prison and being rehabilitated there. I hope you regret everything you've done while you rot there. I'm so sorry, Shea. I never meant to cause any harm. If nothing happens to save me, I'll really become a criminal. Save me. Tell the police to leave me alone and that I did nothing wrong. Wait, you're asking that now after you just went and tried to assault someone? You came at me carrying a knife of some sort, right? And that's why you were taken down right on the spot by the police. What did you think was going to happen? You're being a total dick right now. I was already disowned by both of my parents and my brother and have not gotten any help from anyone. My husband's been taken into custody by the police and is under investigation now and is going to have to hand over a lot of money for what happened as well. And because of that, he's now blaming me out of spite. I'm already having to go to court to be sued by you for driving drunk and hitting Cam on top of having to actually be charged for those crimes. Why am I the only one having to go through all this hell right now? Isn't this screwed up? All of this is because of you, Alexa. Are you really saying that right now? If that's the case, then perhaps it's time for you to open those eyes. What do you mean, open my eyes? I mean what I just said. Why are you blaming me for all of this? You can hate me all you want, but how about you begin to hate yourself now as well? My son and I are victims of your actions. Understand that? You literally hit my son with your car and have sent him to the hospital where he is going to have to stay now for 2 months. I have every right to want to sue you after that out of my anger. Yet for some reason you still don't seem to think you've done anything worth being sued over, right? But what? There are no buts anymore. All you're doing right now is trying to blame me for all the horrible choices you've made. And the reason your husband is being held in a jail cell right now while he's being investigated for his crimes is because of what you'd done and had him cover up. The reason your husband has to go through hell now is because of you. So it kind of makes sense for him and everyone else to be upset with you now, right? I mean, he's to blame as well for a lot of these things, considering he made the final choice as a sheriff to help cover up all your crimes. Who do you think you are talking to me like that? You don't know anything about me. I really don't, and I don't ever want to either. I mean, you literally came at me with a knife out of spite for the crimes you'd already committed, making you a criminal at heart. So of course I'd never even be able to understand you if I tried. Now that's all from me. Wait, what about the police? What was that? What about them? You think I'm going to ask them to let you get away? I want them to take you away so that you'll have a very long time to regret what you've done, and maybe even learn to be a decent member of society again. Everything you've done is not only illegal, but felonies to the highest degree. You should understand all of that without even having to listen to me tell you, right? Your family and my son are all saddened by the person you've turned out to be. And when it comes to myself, I'm sad as well, but I'm also very upset. What? So that's why my family isn't helping me right now? They all believe that this is my fault? Are you starting to finally get things now? You've been acting like a selfish prick for the longest time now, and all that selfishness is finally coming back to bite you in the ass. I think you really need to start taking responsibility for all of that now. Jonas is praying that you learn from what you've done. He doesn't want to see his older sister turning out the way you've been. And as for me, I never wanted to see my son ending up the way he did due to his own aunt's reckless actions. He's only 5, yet he's had to experience something that's left him immobilized in a hospital bed. It hurts me deeply to see him that way. Is that so? I'm really sorry, Shea. I don't know what I should be saying now. You don't have to say anything now. Just learn from your mistakes and change your life around, please. There were people that actually trusted and believed in you. So do it for them.
I just got a call from my mom not too long ago. My sister ended up getting a divorce from her husband.
Is that what happened between those two? Well, after all that's happened so far between those two now, I can understand why.
Are you happy with having them pay us that much in court settlements after that long battle for Cam? I'm sure not forgiving either one of them still, but something in your eyes said otherwise.
I'm not happy with everything yet, and sure have not forgiven Alexa. But seeing her and her now ex-husband paying up did make me realize she might actually be able to change. With that, I hope her time in prison will really give her a chance to change for the better and come out of there as a decent member of society someday.
My mom was saying that when Alexa called her from her jail cell the other night, she explained how sorry she really was, and that she'd take full responsibility by pleading guilty, which she thankfully did. I think that does show that Alexa will be willing to change her ways in prison to make up for what she'd done. I'll just have to see how long that actually takes her.
Really, I'm just happy that Cam is starting to heal up really well now after his surgeries, and that he'll be able to properly play outside again soon. And in all honesty, he doesn't seem to be traumatized after all of that.
Alexa said that she'd someday like to come and apologize to Cam. But my dad told her it's better to never come around the three of us again. Which makes sense considering all she'd done. At least we have all that money we'd won from her now. It really makes you wonder if she was ever thinking about the rest of us like family. I'm sure she does now after all that's gone down. But it's too late for her there, right?
That's right. I just pray now that when she does get released, she can find a life of her own someplace else and never come back to us. It hurts me to have to say this, but perhaps her drunk driving and almost killing our son was that kind of help that she needed to help break her out of that crippling selfishness. But the outcome to all of this is really going to be up to her now. After all that had happened, Alexa ended up being sentenced to 15 years in prison for her crimes of driving under the influence and almost killing my son with her car. And that was after having to pay my husband and I a settlement of $150,000 for our son. She was also given another 5 years for attempted murder after coming at me with that knife before the police stopped her about 6 feet away from me. Nobody in the family is ever going to forgive her for what she'd done, and that emotion will carry on even after she's out of the prison and walking the streets again. But one thing is for sure, and that is that she is well aware of that now, and will hopefully use that shame and regret to fix herself for everyone's sake. She may never be able to come back to her original family ever again, but I'm hoping that she'll make a new family of her own later in life. or at least be able to return to life without falling back into the rut of selfishness she'd been in around us. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story. Are you guys not going to let your mom come and live with you? Why is she still living in this house all by herself? If she isn't going to be leaving anytime soon, then we are never going to be able to get this place. Sophie, this is all a bit too sudden for me. What are you talking about? Why are you talking to me about my mom and her house and you guys getting it from her? You're actually going on about something like that? That's what I'm talking about here. What other house do you think I'd want to be talking about with you? Well, you do know that my mom is still alive, right? So her house would still be her house. I'm not sure what you mean by not getting it from her or something, but she's still around and plans on living in that house. Your mom is in a wheelchair, right? And she wants the people living with her to be the ones taking care of her, right? Well, you seem to have the time to be taking care of her for me, so I was thinking I could pay you to take her off my hands and be the one responsible for her now. Why are you saying that like she's not any of your guys' worries? She is my mother as well as my brother's, so you shouldn't be speaking about her like that. And even though she's in a wheelchair, she's still doing well enough for herself that she doesn't need anyone else taking care of her. So please stop speaking about her in that way. Is that so? Well, whatever, I guess. But this is basically you telling me that you don't want to have your mom come over and live with you then. She hasn't asked me anything about this, so I've never put any thought into it. After all, my mom isn't really in need of having to move out of her house and come live with me. Now, why are you asking me all of this? Well, that's because your brother and I have started living in this house with your mom. Wait, really? Then why does it seem like you want to kick my mom out of that house right now when you're the ones that's moved into it? You're both living in my mother's house together then now, right? That's right, but we're only here for her house. And we just thought that by having you take your mom off our hands, the process of getting this house would be sped up just a bit. You stop it right there, Sophie. I don't care that you're my brother's wife. You're being rude. My mom has rights too, you know. She has rights? What do you mean by that? She's in a wheelchair now, so she doesn't even have the most basic human rights anymore. Huh? If she doesn't have anyone with her to care for her, she can't do anything. Saying that she has the same rights as my husband and I makes me laugh. Are you freaking kidding me? You are starting to really make a bad name for yourself here, Sophie. I know that she's paying for someone to help her out, but she's been using her late husband's money for that, right? I do not want her touching any of that money. She happens to have family that can take care of her for free, so I'm going to turn that caretaker away the next time she comes to the door. Huh? So does this mean you're going to be the one to care for my mom? Because based on what you've been saying to me, that doesn't appear to be the case. Well, it'll all be fine, right? I'd rather have us be the ones taking care of her anyway in order to not waste any more of that money. Waste any more of that money? That money is my mom's to use any way she'd like. What is wrong with my mom using the money she has on things that she wants? It's wrong because your late dad's money is supposed to be my husband's money now. If she uses all of that money up on herself, then it's going to be a real problem for us. I'm telling you, we can't let her waste that money any longer. But I'm still trying to figure out in what way she's wasting it when it's being spent on herself. I think she has every right to be using that money on herself, especially when it's for something she needs. And by the way, why are you talking about the money she's received from my dad? Does this mean you've never known about any of this? Perhaps your dad only ever told Anthony about this then. Well, I'm sure you must be feeling left out now. What are you going on about, Sophie? I literally have no clue what this is all about. Well, just know that we'll be living in this house now with your mom. You can have her anytime you want, but if you plan to leave your mom with us, then promise me to never come over here, okay? Huh? That's the house where my mother lives, so I'm going to be coming over there to check up on how things are going. Could you please stop talking like you get to make the rules about everything and everyone in this family? I can already tell by how things have gone in this conversation that you don't even want to care for my mother, right? That money is hers, so let her continue to use it on someone who actually wants to help her and knows how to. That is something I get to decide on, so you just sit there and be quiet. No, it's not something you get to decide. She is the only one that gets to decide on that because she's using her money for it. I've already made up my mind on it. If you don't want to take her off our hands now, then shut up and look the other way. This isn't your house anyway, so leave this to the people who are actually here. Hold on a second, Sophie. You are not supposed to just be making decisions like that on your own without everyone else's say. Are you listening to me? Anthony? Since when did you guys decide on moving in with Mom? I've never heard about any of this from either of you before today.
We decided last week, I think? Wait, maybe it was yesterday. But we made our decision.
What the hell? You get that Mom is in a wheelchair, and although she can handle mostly everything on her own, she needs someone to be there to help with some things, right? Your wife just told me she won't let the caretaker into the house anymore to help with Mom and is going to stop paying her. This is all just a joke, right?
Sophie told me that's what she decided to do, so I'm not going to say anything about it.
Why not? She is your wife, and that is your mother.
Don't get so worked up over this. You want a little bit of Dad's money as well, right?
Excuse me?
Well, then you let Sophie and I take care of Mom, and then you'll get your share when things are all done with.
Wait. What are you talking about? What are you both planning to do with Mom? And Dad's money? What the hell is this?
You should know about this, right? Dad had loads of money before he passed away.
Wait, what are you talking about? Since when?
I get that Dad's company may have gone under in his final years.
Are you trying to act like it didn't completely crash and burn before his death?
But before the company went bankrupt, I heard from him about a few things. Dad was saying that he had a ton of assets that he kept hidden from the banks.
You're joking, right? Did you actually believe him?
Dad never had a reason to lie about something like that to me. I feel bad for the two of you women. Both you and Mom. I guess Dad never wanted to let either of you two have any of his money after he passed.
What do you mean?
Dad made a promise only to me about handing me his assets. But he told me all of them were being kept at home, and well, Mama's been there making it really hard for me. However, we're living with her now, so it's not going to be too much longer before I get the money and everything else.
So that's what all of this is about. I finally see why you both wanted to move in with her. What you both are after. But I'm telling you right now that things won't go as you're expecting. So you should be ready for the truth. There may be things that you never heard about, but that's not going to be any of my business. Now, before any of that could happen, how about you and Sophie just slow down a bit and rethink everything you're doing? Jenny, you're at your house right now, right? Sophie, what the hell are you planning on doing? Why have you brought my mom with you to the front of my house? I'm giving it to you. It's pretty large, just put in the trash, so I'm happy to see that you'll make it work. You stop all of that right now. I am not in the mood to listen to you ramble on about such rude crap. Now explain what this is all about. My mom was the one that raised me all by herself after my father died, so I will not let you talk about her in that way again. Are you out of your mind right now? It looks to me like you're just leaving her here now and are going to run off. We don't need that trash anymore, so we're throwing it away. And your brother and I are taking over the house now, and that old heap, who is pretty much already in her coffin, was in the way. So there you go. I know that you've kicked her out of her own house for your selfish goals. Are you both happy now to have that house all to yourselves? Well, yes, actually. We are very happy to have this house for ourselves now, and when I get home, we're going to start remodeling it. And it's not just the house either, but all the money that comes with it. Anthony and I are going to be rich now. Rich, huh? I know that the reason why your mom had to raise you all by herself is because her husband threw her away, right? Must freaking suck to be thrown away like that by the CEO of a huge company. And because of that, your mom had to end up in a wheelchair years later and is now a total waste of space in this society. You have no idea what happened then, do you? I'm surprised you can talk with such confidence when you don't know a single bit about the truth. Were you told something by my brother that led you to believe such things, or is this just how you are as a person, making up your own stories in order to get what you want? Anthony told me all about this stuff, so I know it's the truth. And Anthony was the only one in the family that your dad actually liked, right? So now I'm having you and your sad husband take care of that well-aged, useless hag for us. And know that we're not sending any money to you guys. I never had any intentions of getting whatever money you're talking about. And you'll soon learn just what I mean when I say there never was any riches in that house. But maybe even then you won't understand because you've already been so brainless about everything. Taking over my mom's house and then throwing her out like this? We're going to be making it out of all this safe, and with all that money your dad left for Anthony, and we'll be living like celebrities. I'm sure you'll be jealous of that too, since you're now going to be living with an old hag who is already halfway buried underground. I've left it for you now, so have fun. Well then, we're going to go with her and live in her condo now. Huh? We're planning to have all my family go with her now to her condo and live there for the rest of our lives. But don't worry yourself with it. She said you and Anthony can have her house, which I'm sure is far better than whatever condo she has, right? And also we've been told that if the condo isn't good enough for all of us, we can just start fresh and build up a new house. We might just do that instead, actually. And what is it that you're going on about now? You told me you wouldn't be handing me any more money now, right? But I should be the one saying that to you both. We don't want to ever see you two again, and I'm going to assume that my mom is going to cut ties with Anthony now. So I'd like for you both to just think of me and my family as strangers from now on. That should be all right with you, right? You guys were always like strangers to me, so this doesn't faze me whatsoever. But what is this about a condo? Are you talking about your dad's vacation home? Nope. And listen here, that man would never have had the kind of money to afford a vacation home in the first place. Have you actually taken a look at reality yet? What are you saying? His company went completely bankrupt, and then after that, he had to pay all of his debts off to the banks, and then following that, he died. How could he ever have any money left to hand down to Anthony when it was all used paying off his debts? He may have been a CEO to some people, but to me, he was just a failed businessman who never had a clue in the world what he was doing with his company. I really don't think he ever had the money that you guys think made him rich. Huh? Who are you talking about? I'm talking about my father, my dad. And when it came to him, he was so focused on his crappy business that he never paid any attention to my mother. And soon after things took off, he divorced her and left her to raise me all on her own as I was in my later years. But when it came to Anthony, my dad would still have him go out to see him every once in a while. However, it seems that while he was out seeing my dad, he was brainwashed by him, and I mean completely told to believe in a fake reality. Brainwashed, huh? I'm not following anything you're saying to me right now about your family. Tell me in a way that even I can understand, please. It doesn't matter at this point if you understand or not. You'll learn in a little while here what I've been telling you. What are you trying to say to me, Jenny? You're really starting to drive me up the wall here. My mom's always been the one working with financing, and that's what made my dad want to marry her. She's always been good with money and had made quite a bit as well. That's why it's not all that strange of her to have a condo, right? And right now, we're ready to move out of my house and into that condo with her. Our house is too small for her in her wheelchair anyway. So moving to this condo of hers is a must. Well, I never heard anything about her having her own condo. And your mom worked in financing? By the looks of her, I would have never guessed that she could do a job like that. What do you mean? You've always been looking down on her because of her wheelchair, right? She told me that she's even spoken to you about her past, but you never listened to her because she's in a wheelchair. Wait, so you're not kidding then? You're telling me that your mom has a lot of money then? That's right. My mom even told me that Anthony could have the house and everything, only to have him laugh in her face about it. You are both complete and utter trash. The only reason she lets you both have it is because the house is being torn down soon. She'd originally wanted to take the two of you to her condo and live the rest of her life there. But when you both forced your ways into her house and acted the way you have been with her, she decided to keep the whole house getting torn down plans a secret and gave you guys the place. Huh? She wanted us to come with her originally? And what's this about the house getting torn down soon? We can still live here, of course. My mom is far too old for a place like that now, especially when the house itself is older than her and needs way too much work. She knew that the land is worth far more than the house, and so she decided to plan for it to be demolished and then sell the land. Had you and Anthony not done the unthinkable and acted like two selfish pricks, then you could have been going with her to live in her really nice condo. Now you're left having to live in a rotten old house that will be gone any day now. I guess this is really what you and my brother deserve. There's no way in hell. Are you sure you don't have things all mixed up in your head right now? Maybe this is all just some sick joke? This isn't a mix-up, nor is it a joke. She had already told me about the plans she had with you both. But you went and kicked her out of her own house and brought her all the way to my house to dump her. After that, plans changed, and now it's going to be my family going out there to live with her. She told us we didn't have to go with her since we have kids here. But my family doesn't mind the move, and we'll even make sure to get her a new caretaker when she's all settled in. It's only right to have a pro look after her as she's in her final year, right? So, you're telling me you're going to go with your mom to her condo, and there she will hire a new caretaker with her money, and you all just get to live there without a care in the world? This is not at all what I expected to happen. What did you expect to happen then? Because I don't ever remember you and I talking about what would happen here. Actually, you don't have to tell me because I couldn't care less about what you wanted to happen. I'm sure you only thought of things based off of what my brainwashed brother was telling you anyway, right? I mean, there is no money coming from my dad. There's no way he had any left over. Are you sure that he doesn't have any money for us? He told us it was hidden here in this house and that we needed to get rid of your mom to get to it. The money and assets that he was talking about is my mom herself. Huh? I'm not sure what all my dad was telling Anthony, but did he happen to take money from either of you? Did my brother lend my dad some money saying he'd pay him back? He did, and I handed some money over from my savings as well. He told Anthony that in order to keep his money a secret from your mom, he'd need a little bit more from us. He said that the money we gave him would go towards a lawyer to help him keep whatever he could after the divorce. Really? Well, perhaps that money is somewhere there. Well, it would be really nice if the money really is there. But really, I think he was BSing you both and just needed money in order to try and pay off more of his debts. What's happened with our money then? We thought he was putting it into something that would turn a profit come the time he passed. But you're saying it's all gone? If you really wanted to put your money somewhere you would turn a profit, then maybe you both should have just stuck to investing it into a trustworthy company. But you both instead gave it to a slimy CEO who was just trying to bail himself out of that collapsing company. I have no idea anymore. I was just trusting everything Anthony was telling me at the time. It's because of you that I don't know what to think anymore. You are the one in control of your own thoughts, and my family and I have nothing to do with them. And after today, I don't think you'll be hearing from my mom or I anymore. My mom's already cut ties to Anthony, and you are just a stranger to us all now. You may have gotten yourselves a house by acting like animals, but starting next week, I'd pick a day to get out of there. You're lying, right? Right? We only just moved into this house. How could it already be set to be torn down after next week? Where are we supposed to go once we lose this house? You think I care about a couple of crappy idiots that are going to lose their house soon? I don't care. You are both just awful to talk to, and I'm sure you won't be catered to by anyone when you both keep acting like everyone is in your favor. Jenny, you can't be serious about that, right? We're your family. I think there was just a slight misunderstanding here, but if your mom really does have money, then it's all good. Honestly, I just thought she was using up all the money that was supposed to be for your brother and I, hence why I acted so rude. I was pissed at her, and that's what then led to me kicking her out. It was a misunderstanding, okay? Let's forget about all that just happened and make things right, okay? No frickin' thanks. What? Are you sure? You'd been looking down on my mom this whole time, picking on her as though you were a bully. And did you forget that just a moment ago you came to my house and dumped her here, acting as though she was some trash that you thought I could handle for you? I have no reason in my mind for why I'd ever want to forgive such a monster. But Anthony is still your older brother, right? We're all still family, so we need to help one another out. The cruddy man you chose to be married to is not like a brother to me, not even family. You are both perfect for one another since you both seem to act like complete jackasses, so you can both figure something out. My family is too good for you guys, so we don't need to help either of you, right? Well, isn't this just great? You get to live in a proper house for 1 week. You're being a jerk, Jenny. Don't throw us away. I'm not the jerk here, right? Do you really think me not offering you both any help is enough to make me the jerk after all you and Anthony did? If you just put some thought into it, you'd understand who the real jerks are. And what's going to happen next is just you and my brother getting exactly what you've had coming. Have fun living as two lowlives out there. Goodbye now. Wait a second, Jenny! Do we really have to move out of this house? You guys can't make something happen? I'm heading back over to your house right now. We can talk more about this there. My family is all already out of the house. Huh? My mom has taken us all out for lunch today. You can go over to my house, but nobody's going to be there to let you in. And if you try to break into there, I'll have the police called on you in no time. You don't have to say that! You are both a plight to this world, so you should both be handled by either the police or by your guys' own demise. Don't get good people like my family and I involved in your hell. Now, can you tell me who is already halfway buried underground again? In the end, neither Anthony nor Sophie were able to find the money and what not that my father had told them about. And within a week of having lived in that house, those two were kicked out of it in order to have the place bulldozed. After having lost the only place they could live, they both ran to my mom and I for help. At first, they both went to my house, but came to realize when peering through the windows that all the furniture was gone and that we had already moved to the condo. They then began to start texting my mom and I, trying to say that they were really sorry and that they still wanted to be a part of the family. However, when they kept asking my mom and I to let them come to the condo with us, we didn't tell them a thing. And when they started to become even more annoying by asking us over and over again, we chose to block both their numbers and officially cut ties. Ever since then, we haven't had to meet with either one of them. And I have to say, my mom and I are feeling so much better with things being quiet and calm again. As of right now, they both have been on the road trying to make things work without having a proper house they can live in. But I'd say this was the perfect end for those two, since they made their wanted outcome very clear by acting so selfishly and like complete animals. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.